Not far from Belokuricha town, there's a family that has lived as hermits since the 90s. The spouses have raised a son far from civilization. He's 20 years old now. This story became known when locals found the young man in the woods and turned to the authorities. Alexander, Yelena and Ojan have lived here since 1997. They retired from civilization because they couldn't accept modern values. The hermit was found this week in the Altai region. He has lived in Taiga all his conscious life alongside his parents, a dugout instead of a house. No passport, no birth registration. He's being compared to Mowgli. They say he's made friends with wolves. He got offended and stopped giving interviews. But that doesn't mean he doesn't speak at all. They made it up quickly. Debunking takes quite a lot of time. Ojan grew up in a family of hermits. A trail, another one, a dangerous ravine, and his home. I'm not really allowed to go anywhere. I usually go somewhere with my parents because they are very afraid of what may happen to me if I go somewhere alone. To the town, for example. The news from the prosecutor's office this week stirred up the public. Hermit parents have left their child, says the prosecutor. Around 20 minutes instead of 5, I guess. You did some serious shopping. You went out for the milk only. Yeah, I thought about buying something else. We don't know how long it's going to take. Never tried these before. Here, we'll try. I got milk, I got cream. Milk. Okay. Listen, there's something that interests me. I'm a big specialist in routine questions, and YouTube makes me even worse, I think. Sometimes I forget all the manners when asking questions. Your posture is so unusual, so good. I think it comes from the forest. People often ask me if I danced or practiced something. I feel the same too. You feel the same way, but it's more about behavior, I think. For me, it all comes from the forest. I'm not military, I just try to walk and look as I am. For example, when reporters visited us for the first time, they were surprised why we were all wearing white shirts. Usually people don't wear white in the woods, but we did, and I do now. I don't have any other clothes other than white shirts, because I can't imagine what else you can wear. So you were born and raised in the forest? Yes, there was a short period of 1.5 years before I turned 4 when we lived in the town of Bisk in the Altai region. Was the birth in the woods? Yes. How did it go? Do you know anything about it? Well, I didn't really ask and I wasn't told about it, but yes, my father delivered me and that's it. Where did you take the water from? Some 50 meters away from home there was a stream. We took the water accurately so as not to get us sealed with it and carried it home in buckets. How did you warm it up? We had an iron furnace throughout the years. After I left for Moscow, my parents made a brick one and they still live with it. You mean the water was boiled on the furnace? Yes, burnt with wood. Did you have electric power? Not at all. Okay, so you were born. What's next? Well, what's next? I was born in February. What was the weather like back then? The weather, well, it's always the same in February, -30 constantly. It's a real taiga, not far from Kaitanak village in the Altai Republic. It was very cold and a lot of snow, so it was impossible to get out of there till spring. You could either drown in the snow or wait for spring. How did you get out of the house? My parents were somehow getting out of the house. They were melting snow because it was impossible to get to the stream. They melted the snow in a big vat and survived till spring to get to the nearby village to buy some things. They had some money and stock of cereals, and my parents lived like that somehow for the first few years. Are those icons yours? No, not at all. The landlady asked not to throw them away. Both of us are not believers, and looking at that, well, it's okay. Not a problem. Listen, isn't this Seraphim Sarovsky? Maybe. I think he lived in the forest. So many non-existing people lived in the forest. I guess he did exist. Frankly, I'm not a big specialist in hagiography. Thank you. But I think Seraphim Sarovsky did exist. How much coffee? 2 teaspoons. Cool. And you? How much? You're having coffee, right? Yeah, the same. Okay. A forgotten taste. So, Seraphim did exist and he lived in the forest. I don't remember well, but I think he had a bear. I mean, the bear didn't belong to him, he just visited him. So I remember well, there was a bear. Seraphim and the bear.
My
father was born in Primorye and went to Taiga there very often. At the age of 16, he decided that someday he would move to live in Taiga. In 1985, he made his dream come true and moved to live in the forest. He wrote books, Kalagia, Synergetics, and some others, most of which he burnt. And so that's how my parents started living in the mountains of Altai. My parents are not against civilization or the benefits it gives. They just want to live away from people, so they interact with them as rarely as possible.
In
1985, he finally decided to go to the forest where no one would hinder. Hinder what? Hinder doing something. They call it esotericism, practicing self-development away from other people's eyes. And your mom? Mom's a musician and piano teacher. They wanted something of their own, and they managed to get something of their own. They live in the highlands, they feel good and quite comfortable. Some people moved to villages, and they just went a bit further and moved away from the people at all. There was maybe another reason we didn't return when I was born. They wanted me to have a clean understanding of the world without the dirt that young people face. For example, drugs, among other things. We have lived here since 1997. What has brought you here? Why? The nature. In nature, you have clean air and thoughts are brighter. You're an artist, right? Yes, I am an artist, and not only. You know, there are a lot of questions concerning your son. He didn't attend a kindergarten, he didn't attend a school. Yes, but we worked on his upbringing and education. For example, he has learned English all by himself. And as we are educated people, we've given him all we had and even more. It's quite comfortable here. Way better than in civilization for sure. All that Alexander and Ojan said about civilization, all the smells and other things, I can only add the values and the music. I'm a musician, and I'm very disappointed and even offended with what is going on in the music industry today.
Слушай, а тебе сейчас 25 лет?
Мне 28.
Look, you're 25 now, right? I'm 28. Oops. What? Was it unexpected? No, I'm unable to tell people's age at all. I just try to calculate what happened and when. Yes, sometimes it seems the time flies so fast, but in fact I have lived in Moscow for 6 years already. 6 years have passed. Unbelievable. Coffee, chocolate, cookies. A cookie. There you go.
Никакой медицинской помощи
So you
не
grew
было.
and neither you or your mom had any medical care?
Её не оказывал, мы
Absolutely
никогда не
none.
обращались, потому
No
что,
doctors cared of you.
я стала обращаться
Not at
за
all. And we didn't
медицинской
ask for
помощью
it.
уже,
I turned to doctors only when I actually moved to the city and started living in the city. In the mountains, you don't need it, because you even get cold once or twice a year, not more.
раз в 2 года, не чаще.
А какие
What
такие
are your
воспоминания
first
детства?
memories from childhood?
Ну, домик
Well, I remember the log
были
cabin
толстые,
in which we
были.
lived.
А, хорошо,
Tell us
что
what's
там
inside.
Ну, это маленькая
Well, it was just a
комнатка,
small room.
внутри? У вас одна
A
комната?
one-bedroom dugout?
да.
Well, yeah.
Это
It was a
примерно
room out of logs about the size of this room, not larger.
Какая-то комната?
вот по размеру, вот да, не больше.
And we lived in it for many
Прожили
years.
много лет,
And then moved to another place, then to the third place. It wasn't the only dugout we had. We had several. And now my parents live in the fourth one, in fact. A three-bedroom dugout. No, it's still a one-bedroom, still a small one. It's just a little more comfortable. Now they have a power generator, solar batteries, they charge their phone, and they have electric lights instead of candles. There we had all the years I lived there. I lived in the mountains till I was 21, and we used paraffin candles for the light. We used to draw, read, write books and other stuff. And now they have LED lighting, which is better, of course. I remember when I was 3 or 4 years old, when we went to Biysk. It's a town called Biysk.
Зачем?
And why? Well, we ran out of money, as now I see it. We needed money, and my parents decided to earn some. I remember watching cartoons on TV, a lot of different cartoons, movies, trams in the city, and other things. That was life in the city. And then we moved back to the woods.
Сколько тебе было лет, когда вы снова уехали в лес?
4 года родители построили.
How old were you when you moved back to the forest? I was 4. My parents built a hut. It was April 1. They built a hut out of a plastic wrap, and we lived in it.
Стали жить.
Then we developed the soil and planted a garden, built a small house.
В шалаше?
Wait, so you lived in a tent?
2 недели.
No, only the first 2 weeks. And then we built a house.
Интересно, как строится
I'm
дом?
very interested in how to build a small house. Well, you can build a log house. The house we had at the beginning was out of logs.
То есть,
Где вы брали бревна?
ну, там растет.
Where did you take the logs? We were in the middle of the forest, but not to chop down a lot of trees, you can take dry ones. There's a lot of dead wood there. You can find a dead wood about 15-20 centimeters thick and cut it down.
Лисина.
Это дерево сухое, которое...
Dead wood?
Вот, его спилишь,
Dead wood is a
потом
dry
берешь,
tree which stands.
делаешь нужное длинное бревно,
So you can chop it fully down, saw off a log out of it, cutting from both sides with a hand saw, and using an axe you can rip off the skin, the tree bark,
дерево. Вот.
and you make a log cabin out of it.
Ну, то есть, что
How long does it take?
занимает,
How long?
ну, в принципе,
Well,
вот я один
I can
могу,
build a house like that in a couple of weeks at
пару
most,
недель максимум.
alone. It will be quite a good house.
Все это время.
Where do you live all the time? In a tent? In a hut, of course. In summer?
Почему?
Why?
Это можно
You can do it in winter as well, because it's quite warm in the tent.
тепло, перед ним
You can make a big fire right in front of it and make sure it burns all night long, and it will be warm.
было тепло.
It was April and a positive temperature, so it was quite okay.
Нам было нормально.
I have a question. When I was coming to this interview, I decided to ask you by all means. What about mice, mosquitoes, flies?
Я не боюсь
I'm not afraid of mice. They beat me many times. In summer, they bite every day and not just once. Flies are annoying. Mosquitoes are annoying too.
тоже надоедает.
They make you itch, but you can get used to it.
Ну, к этому привыкаешь.
You just have to bear with it.
С этим живешь.
Mosquitoes appear in summer. There's a lot of them. They buzz all around you.
Жучат,
They start eating you, but when they are full, they disappear.
через какое-то время комары
And there come horseflies and gadflies. They bite so painful that no mosquito bite can compare to it. And in autumn, the midge appears. I guess you visited us somewhere in August, and it was the time for the midge.
Мошка была в это время как раз.
Так у вас все это было.
So you had it all,
И вы
of
ничего
course.
не делали с этим.
And you did nothing to that. No, you just lived in that pleasant environment. We lived in that environment. Well, when you water the garden or dig or weed, you have to brush them off all the time. You can do nothing with that.
Ну, что теперь?
So you can build a dugout in a couple of weeks. Yes, it's not difficult. And what about the flow?
Был земляной,
We had a soil flow through all the years. Just tamped sand. That's it.
Вот, и, естественно, мы не разувались, мы ходили также в обуви, как и на улице. А потом...
Of course, we wore shoes just like outside. In the last 4 years, my parents covered it with linoleum, and now their floor is not out of soil. And what about the windows?
Полиэтилена.
They're polyethylene.
Они не пропускают холод?
They don't let the cold in? They do. It's quite cold. In winter, you have to wake at 4 a.m. to add some woods to make the house warmer.
Например, чтобы потеплее было. Ну,
Something like that.
как-то так. Но это не сильно холодно.
It's not that cold. It's quite okay because we had 3 layers of polyethylene. How do you take a shower? Well, the furnace, you put a huge 20-liter tank on it, wait for it to boil, then mix hot and cold water and wash yourself in a basin. Where? In summer, outside, you soap yourself and wash in the basin. Pour water on yourself, standing in the basin, and change the water 3-4 times, and you're fully clean. That's in summer. In winter, you just cover the floor with plastic wrap to keep it dry. The floor is sandy and you shouldn't wet it. So you cover it with plastic and repeat the process.
Конечно, не стоит. Вот, застилали целлофаном пол, и вот точно так же все делали.
Where did your parents learn all these technologies? As far as I understand, they are ordinary town people. How to know how to build it all?
Как бы где берется знание о том,
You mean how to survive in the forest? Yes, how to survive in the forest. For example, I think I'd die or run back to city after 2 days at most.
в город через 2 дня максимум?
When you accept it all as it is, you don't try to run. That's quite easy.
Бежать.
It's possible to survive in any environment.
Достаточно легко выжить в любой среде.
А не
И
проще было баню
что-то построить.
построить?
Баню?
Isn't it easier to build a bathhouse?
Нет, потому что
Bathhouse?
для этого надо
Rather no, because you need... Well, it's not an open field where you can build whatever you want. You need to make a platform on the slope of a mountain, dig through the stones with a shovel, and you may come across huge boulders. Sometimes you need to break a stone to make a flat platform.
сделать, ну, вот какую-то
It's so costly that my parents don't even have a bathhouse today.
У родителей этого и сейчас нет. Они так
They still take a shower in a basin.
просто в тазике, да и все.
Туалет.
Это, как сказать, конкретно описать, как это делается или как?
Ну, просто
Это просто такая...
A toilet? What?
огородка,
How to say it?
вне дома или в доме?
Do you want me to describe it?
Вне дома, конечно.
Well, it's a fence. Is it outside? Outside, of course. I guess somewhere in Chukotka they also make a separate place and go there. So we had the same. Is it some kind of a pit? No, it was just a terrace. You hover over it, like an eagle, and you do your big and small things.
Который зависаешь по орлиному и делаешь большие и маленькие дела.
Is it the same now? Now it's more comfortable. As I said, they have electricity, solar batteries, a power generator. So, mostly yes, it's the same. I went there this year. It's quite hard living like that. I can't live like that. I mean, I wouldn't want to.
Вот. Я так жить могу, ну, вряд ли хотел бы.
And this is radio. Turn it on. This is the first channel. Russia 1 TV channel.
Первый телеканал Россия-1, вот это вот радио.
Watch it so there's not in camera. Can we come out? Yes, you can. Come out. You can stand here.
То есть, а у вас вот получается, ну, домик, огородик, да, где-то у вас?
So, you have a house, a garden somewhere here? Yes, we have a garden. Not only here, but in other places too. Gardens in several places and fruit trees too. Pears and apples do not grow. Grapes, actinidia, and a lot of other things. Do you have guests often? Oh, very rarely. Sometimes hunters come, but that happens very rarely.
А что вы ели? Вот.
Мы выращивали огород, вот.
And what did you eat? We had a garden. At first my parents cultivated it, then I joined the work. We had potatoes and cabbages. It grew really big back in those days. Climate was milder. We had some melons, watermelons. We had a lot of things. What else? Tomatoes. Was that a greenhouse? No, not a greenhouse. It all grew without a greenhouse. Let's name it all. So cabbage, potatoes, tomatoes, watermelons, what else? So the main cabbage, potatoes, cucumbers, tomatoes in huge quantities, carrots, beets, it all grew easily and a lot. And we also tried to cultivate something exclusive, like basil, for example. We had a lot of seeds and we used them. And protein? Protein. We had the garden and then we bought flour in autumn. We bought flour, salt, sugar, all those things. More rarely, we bought meat to it. Now I'm fully vegetarian, but my parents thought that it's impossible to live without meat. So in the cold time of the year, we were buying some meat, we pasteurized it and canned it. We made canned meat. What about milk and dairy products? We bought them too. Quite rarely, but we bought them. In the end, we were going to the town. So we started going to the town more rarely. Sometimes we didn't go there for half a year, for example. We didn't go anywhere at all. How to live without protein? You mean protein from meat? Wait, you said you bought it and canned it, so you had canned meat. Yes, it was a homemade canned meat. You could uncan it and eat it for the whole winter. And that allowed you not to go for shopping for half a year. It's very hard to go to town in winter, because you can have snow 1.5 or 2 meters deep in some place. There can be no snow at all on the mountain peaks or ridges, and frozen grass can just wave in the wind. But down there, you can have such snow that you can't go out. The closest town to you was about 3.5 kilometers away, around 4 years. 4 kilometers is about 1.5 hours to walk, right? In summer, I mean. Well, approximately. You mean you can't walk in the winter? When it was urgent, we did go out in winter, but you need to make a path. You walk a full day to make half the path, and the next day you make the other half to get to the closest road. Was the snow about the height of a man? Sometimes yes. In some places it's not that deep, in some places it was like that. Look, a weird question. Didn't you have the thought sometimes, why? Why are we doing this? I can understand Robinson Crusoe. He had no choice. He did choose to travel alongside with his shipwreck, but generally he didn't choose the island. But your family did, and they chose the forest again and again. For what reason? Well, probably the answer is that if you have chosen something once, it's very hard to change your choice. If you've chosen a profession or a lifestyle, it's difficult to change it. And you do the same thing all the time. But my parents, they like it. They like living in the forest with the birds singing, the mosquitoes biting maybe. They like it. They like nature more than living among people, cars and all the noise. I can understand them actually. It's beautiful. When you go there you feel how calm it is. At night you can't hear a single sound. It's just unbelievable. Should we bring more chairs? Yeah, let's do it. You're not a lazy man, are you? What do you mean? Most of the people don't want to do things they don't have to, like going shopping for milk, for example. No, these things are important to me. They influence how the conversation will go, and it's kind of a minimal comfort which I can create. If I can do it, why not? On the other hand, I'm a very lazy person. That's why I usually act as any normal lazy person in routine situations. But on the work, for example, I prefer cleaning and washing all the stuff because I wouldn't want to do big cleaning a week later with all these glasses and stuff. Yeah,
Все равно делать придется.
you'll have to do it anyway. Okay, cheers.
Какое-то видео, в котором ты говоришь, что
Yeah, there's a video where you say that the barman's salary is around 100,000 rubles. It depends on the place. I get 70 on average. That's the salary and the tips.
Вот, получается, это зарплата плюс чаевые. Ну, там 15 тысяч на квартиру, в принципе.
I pay 15,000 for the rent, so it's quite okay. Do you still have a big loan to return? I have 400. It's not a small sum. No, it's not, but I'm doing fine. Because it's a bank loan, not payday loans in which I got stuck for many years. Did you realize you shouldn't do it? You shouldn't. How did you raise your son?
Своего сына.
Actually, quite easy. I mean, it's natural. He knows what hard work is. He knows what creative work is. For example, he started reading and drawing much earlier than normal children do. And he did it all by himself. At a quite young age, about 5, he was already reading and writing on his own.
А почему вы
Why
назвали
did you name him Ojan?
Кто придумал?
Who came up with the name? I did. You see, I had a good friend, and I named my son after him. It's a beautiful name. Ojan means great soul.
А вы какой
What
себе
kind of
хотите
destiny
для
do you want for your son?
Сейчас 20
He's
лет,
20
он
now, a
взрослый,
grown up. We want the best for him. We'd like him to become a big artist, or maybe a poet,
Писатель.
a writer.
Хотелось бы
We want the best for him.
First
First of all, a smart person,
быть добрым.
and a real, kind person.
во что ты играл?
What did you play as a
Ни
child?
во что.
Nothing.
Я,
Well, we played
ну,
checkers with
родители
my
меня
parents,
играли в шашки, в,
chess,
кажется, в
I guess,
шахматы и в карты.
and cards.
А,
But it happened
периодически,
occasionally.
где-то, может быть,
About
раз
10 times
10
maybe.
это было за вообще все время, и то мне было
And I was around 8 at that moment.
вот.
А в детстве? Ну,
What did you play when you were 5 or 6 years old? Did you have any dolls, cars, and plush toys, bears, rabbits, something?
Ну да, машинки
I had
были,
cars,
я их
but I
очень
broke
долго
them all the time to see what's
смотрел,
inside.
дальше собрать
And I
их
couldn't
не
fix
мог
them back.
обратно. А так
Well, I had a
очень
lot of tools,
инструментов,
like chisels, hacksaws.
всякие стамески, напильники.
I
Вот,
made
я
something with them
с
all
помощью
the
этого
time.
всего
I made figures out of wood. It was interesting to me.
фигурки вырезал из дерева. Вот мне это было интересно.
If we were a yellow press would name the article, he played hacksaw as a child.
Да, да, после
Yes,
этого
that's how he
и
was.
поэтому
That's why,
я,
when I came to Moscow with no experience at all, I started working in construction.
Приехал в Москву и работал, то есть делал штукатурку и так далее. Ну, потому что в лесу вот я очень много чего делал руками. Ну, летом я вот, например, строил...
I did stucco and other things. Because I worked with my hands in the woods, I was doing construction in the summer. Almost every summer, I was renovating the dam on the stream to make a small lake. We had a lot of plastic bottles, and I made a small raft out of the plastic bottles and potato sacks to row in the lake. The dam was about 5 meters long and 3 meters wide, and it created a little pond. So I tried to row on that raft, fell in the water a couple of times, and lost interest. That's the whole story.
Бросил это занятие, ну вот такое, потом я...
So I made figures with the chisel a lot. You can notice all my hands are cut with chisel because I was making something out of wood all the time. That was in summer. In winter, after I was 7, I was reading a lot. At 7, I learned to read well and quickly. I was reading different books because my parents had a lot of books they had brought with them. Also, some relatives brought books to us, they brought some magazines, sometimes old ones among other things. Come in. So these are the books. What's this one? English dictionary.
Да, да, вот мы планчик поменяли.
Wait, we've changed the angle. It can get dusty. The books I don't use very often. We keep them in a box, of course. It can get very dusty or sooty very quickly. You can't clean it. So they are all here.
Все, животных.
Так, это то, что здесь лежит. Вот. Когда было потеплее.
When it was warmer, I was making snowmen.
Читали сказки на ночь?
Did they read fairy tales for you before bed? Not before bed, but they read to me. My mom read out loud a lot, so me and Dad, we were listening to her. That happened a lot when I was a kid. Look, you're a grown-up man now. You're turning 30 soon. You do understand, right, that at some point the children's service could appear and say, okay, you can't have a child in such conditions. Do you think that could have happened? In the 90s, it was almost impossible. A lot of people lived in awful conditions back then. You basically didn't have money. You were basically living on what you would grow. Yes, we lived thanks to the garden, but we did have some money. We always had money. It's just we didn't really spend. We spent money quite rarely when we needed to buy like 5 sacks of flour for winter. How much does it make? Well, 5,000 maybe, that's it. And did you see any kind of sweets as a child?
Слушай, а ты в детстве...
Well, we bought condensed milk, chocolate, some candies.
Тоже покупали там сгущенку, шоколадки покупали, конфеты покупали.
Not very often, of course. For me back then, it was quite normal to eat sugar with a spoon and bread. It was so tasty. I mean, I don't do that anymore, but in the woods, it was quite normal. Also, you could mix sugar and cocoa powder, and eat it with bread and tea. It was so tasty. I think all the kids do that. We baked our own bread. Out of flour. And what? How did you do that? Out of flour. In the furnace on coals. You lay out the coals evenly on the bottom of the furnace, cover them with the ashes so it bakes instead of roasting. Ashes help preserve temperature for a long time. You place the pan with the dough on the ashes and wait for it to bake. It takes a couple of hours and the bread is ready. Is it tasty? Yes, it's very tasty. I can bake it even now, but in the gas oven, of course. It's easier because you can control the temperature in the gas oven. But it still was okay back then, too. Did you read Robinson Crusoe? No. I recommend it. When you read Robinson Crusoe, you'll be like, come on, he didn't seem real life. Didn't you feel like you should be with other kids? I did. I wanted to go to town, talk to people, see the city life. After the first 1.5 years in Biysk, I missed the city a lot. I wanted to watch TV, cartoons, all those trams, the noise, the atmosphere.
И я у родителей спрашивал, когда можно будет, и то есть они чаще всего говорили, что пока мы не можем.
I was asking my parents when we're going back, and they said that we couldn't go just yet, as we had a lot of work to do. We had to plant the garden for winter, stock some vegetables, as otherwise we would be starving in winter. Later in autumn, we did go to town, of course. It was kind of a hike to town. For one day only, we didn't stay overnight.
Ну, расскажи. Вы взяли рюкзаки.
Да.
Как люди ходят в лес, вы из леса.
Да, то же самое. Мы выходили.
What's a hike to town? Tell us, please. Were you taking backpacks? Just like people going to woods, you were going out of woods? Yes, it's the same. We went to the town, bought food, and walked back home around midnight, as it's quite a long way. Especially when you carry a heavy load, you walk slower. Did you carry it all on yourselves? Yes, of course. All on yourselves all the time? All the time. Did you walk in dark too? Yes. How? You only had candles. Did you make torches or what? No, we had a flashlight. Before moving to the forest, my parents bought several flashlights. You know, the ones that you need to push. We call them buzzers. They are still being produced in Belarus. So we had them all the time. Only replaced their lamps. That's it. But now it's much easier, of course. Was your father becoming healthier? He moved there for health, right? In terms of health, of course, it's preferable to live in the forest, because you don't spend money on drugstore.
Я сам помню, что какая-то простуда даже обычная была раз в 2 года.
I remember that a simple cold would hit you only once 2 years. Let's say you get cold. What you do? Nothing. Why would you do anything if even the medicine has no cure? You almost don't get sick there. No headache or arm, leg, stomach.
конечно, бывает, но это
No diarrhea, no scarlet fever. Small things happen, of course, but they disappear quickly.
вата,
Did you have a first aid kit?
или капа.
No, we only had cotton pads, bandages, and band-aids. A thermometer? No. We had it later, maybe some 8 years ago, in my last years there, but it was a street thermometer, not for the body. As I moved to Moscow, I started getting sick like everyone else 6 times a year. Sometimes 4, sometimes 6. It's all because there's an unstable environment here. You get cold from an AC in half an hour, and there you go.
Кондиционером за полчаса и все. И мы-
Did you have COVID? No.
Давай поговорим про особенности вашей кухни. Ну хорошо, ты пек хлеб. Я просто, понимаешь,
Ну, скорее,
Let's talk about the peculiarities of your cuisine. So you bake bread. Mom was baking at first.
14
She did the cooking when I was a kid. Then around 14 I learned how to cook and did something too.
потом мне очень понравилось.
I like canning vegetables a lot. Pasteurizing it all and tightening up the tubs. I made steamed mushrooms, for example.
Ну, так я там грибы, например, тушеные делал. То есть
грибы собирали?
Конечно, да. Ну вот лисичек наберешь там, не знаю, ведер 5.
Did you get the mushrooms? Of course we did. You have, say, like 5 buckets of chanterelles. What do you do with them? No way to dry them. 5 buckets? Yeah, 5 buckets of chanterelles. How long does it take to gather 5 buckets? It depends on the time of the year. When there's a lot of them, one person can get that much in 3 hours maybe. Honey agarics are much faster to pick. I was selling honey agarics in 2013 on the market of Bela Kuricha town.
И шел продавать. Вот. И то есть наберешь вот несколько ведер лисичек.
I was getting up at 4 a.m., picked mushrooms until 7, and went to the market. If you have a lot of chanterelles, you can't dry them because it's raining, so no sun. And I learned how to steam them with salt and sunflower oil, and then I canned them. Sounds tasty. Yeah, you can keep them for a couple of years. You go to the cellar, take the can, clean it, because the mice bring in a lot of sand. Mice. Yes, mice. They cover cans with sand. Then you clean it, wash it, open it, and you find fresh mushrooms inside. Very tasty. Did you have any encounters with wild animals? I mean, we've talked about insects. You live trying not to pay attention to them. Who else lived next to you? So mice? A lot of mice. We had to bring some cats in to fight them somehow. Mice can eat the whole garden. That's a big problem. Wait, are those some kind of forest mice? Ordinary forest mice. They're not like city mice. They can be this big.
Не то, что мыши, это они бывают вот такие огромные просто мыши, которые вот разъелись просто, потому что там...
На вашей еде.
И на нашей, и вообще... То есть бывает так, вот садишь...
Mice that have eaten a lot. Your food. Ours, and in general. You can plant a row of carrots, and then you can see how the plants fall down because mice or moles take the carrots from underground, leaving the leaves on the surface. It happened to us. So mice, moles, who else? Chipmunks. We fed them with seeds as we had sunflowers. What about foxes, wolves, bears? There are no foxes, wolves, and bears there. They live very far, but you can find their traces. You can come across the traces of a moose or lynx. Sometimes you can see roes. Hares? Yes, I saw some real hares, a lot of traces. I tried to feed them with watermelon peel, but they don't really want it. Maybe they smell a man and fear us. Did you think of having a cow? That's absolutely impossible. It's highlands. Cow needs pastures. You have to take care of it. It can get sick. You need to heal it. It makes no sense. Cats are okay. A goat? You shouldn't even try, because it's mountains. We were drying tea herbs and selling them through some people we knew. What's a tea herb?
Это, ну вот алтайские чаи, ну травяные чаи, короче. Это...
Altai teas. Herbal teas. It's an ordinary oregano, St. John's wort, yarrow, meadowsweet.
Тот же самый, ну вот такие вот.
People bought teas a lot. It's not hard selling
В
them.
принципе, не трудно их продать. Вот, какая-то денежка с этого была. И то есть в разные времена мы...
And it earned us some money. We could afford buying something at different times.
Все овощи...
I mean, the fruits and later vegetables we grew ourselves. We had pear trees. They have grown and give a lot of pears. Also, we have apple trees with small apples. But we had to buy flour, fish, salt, sugar.
Мясо, рыбу, соль, сахар.
У вас не было, кстати, мысли собаку завести?
Did you have any thought of keeping a dog? It eats a lot. Once a relative brought his dog. I don't know what type of dog it was. About 50 centimeters. It ate a bowl of soup with canned meat in 40 seconds.
Объедала.
Ну, конечно, ее невозможно прокормить. То есть для нее прям на нее надо зарабатывать.
And when we saw that, we decided we shouldn't. So it consumed a lot. Of course, it's impossible to feed it. You need to earn for it. Did you ever feel like you lack food? Sometimes, occasionally. I did understand that I shouldn't be complaining because of that. But yes, I wanted chocolates, candies maybe, and such things. Condensed milk, which we didn't always have. In my childhood, we didn't always have condensed milk in the city too. Well, yes. Alcohol is another question. How did you solve the problem with alcohol? Yes, that's a difficult problem. You need to get it from somewhere. But my parents made it out of some jams from previous years. They made wine out of fresh berries, and it was quite tasty. The fermentation of the berries, sugar and water takes place in a flask in a warm time of the year. Then you pour it all in jars, separate from the suspension of berries and yeast, and put it in a cold place. Then you filter it all through a sieve, pour in jars, and wait for it to get ready. It's nice things, I have to say, but you get tired of all that pretty soon.
Помню, вот мы закупили вместо муки, додумались купить просто пшеницу. И вот как ее не готовь, это все равно...
I remember once we bought wheat instead of flour, and whatever way we cooked it, it was impossible to eat. Anything we baked out of grinded meat was not tasty and inedible. Pretty soon you just don't want to eat it anymore. We lived one winter like that and decided never to buy it. There were moments when we lacked things. We didn't have an opportunity just to go and buy whatever we wanted, like I can do now. I wanted an ice cream, for example. If I want it now, I just go and buy it. Back then, it was not an option.
Слушай, а у вас, ну смотри, раз уже люди пошли и отселились в лес, то как бы логично предположить,
Listen, I think if people have decided to go out and live in the forest, then logically there's a chance of hunting and fishing. Did you do it? No, we didn't. Because my parents moved to the forest not to kill, but on the contrary, to replenish nature by trying to plant some new plants there. We've never hunted or especially fishing. There's no fish at all there. Can you tell us what time you woke up? I always woke up late, around 10, 11 a.m. 10 a.m. And what was your bed like? Well, it's a bed made out of poles, thin tree trunks. In different times, it had different covers. Once it was covered with ordinary cardboard and a blanket above it. Did you have bed linens? Yes, sure. We washed it in a basin with our hands. That was the process. A pillow, a blanket? Yes, yes. On a pole bed? Yes. I'm just trying to understand what you made yourselves and what you had owned before moving there. No, purchasing a ready-made bed or any furniture makes no sense. Kind of wild having furniture in a dugout. It's not going to survive. You just make two bed legs and nail the poles to the wall. So you make the base out of poles, then cover it with cardboard to make it all even, and so the poles don't scratch your back, and that's it. Did you have a mattress? No, we had no mattress. We just had one blanket underneath and another one from above. Very interesting. What did your father do? All the same things. Describe his ordinary day just for us to understand. It depends on the time of the year. In summer, it's an everyday wedding. What time did they get up? Usually it's 7. Next. Did you clean teeth? No. Back then, we didn't clean our teeth at all. I later realized that it was very important and necessary. Yes, usually not cleaning the teeth costs a lot to a man. Yeah. What about now? Well, we can see your teeth now. What about your parents? It's all very sad. They don't really treat them. It's a very complicated process. It's a very complicated process. I'd like to help them with that, but I can't just yet.
Ладно, хорошо. Они просыпаются часов в 7 утра. Дальше что?
Okay, so they woke up at 7. What's next? Well, usually it's cooking. What was your breakfast like? Breakfast. In summer, there's a lot of various herbs, like celery or sorrel, or something from our garden. What's celery? Celery is an umbrella-like plant. It can be the height of a man. But when it just starts growing, you can pick the stem and just eat it. Just peel it and eat.
Он сладкий? Он сладкий, чем-то напоминает капусту с апельсином, вот такое по вкусу.
Is it sweet? It's sweet. It resembles cabbage with orange, something like that. So in warm weather, they were gathering herbs in the morning, drying them, as we had a lot of it growing around. We could sell it and consume ourselves. So they took care of the potatoes, watered the garden, because if you didn't manage to water in the evening, you have to do it in the morning. Otherwise, it all can dry out, like carrots, for example. Okay, what's next? So that's pretty much the whole day. You can get some rest, and then you have to work in the garden. If you don't weed a row, for example, in a week it will be full of weeds. So the main thing was the garden. In summer, yes. In winter, we had a lot more time.
Все было время, там втроем садились рисовать, например, карандашом что-то, ну, каждый свою картинку, да.
Sometimes we were drawing something with a pencil, all the three of us, each on his own. So we drew, read books, and so on. But in winter, you have to spend about 4 hours a day cutting some wood with a handsaw and then chopping it.
Словарик английский.
Вот, подожди, да, вот мы планчик поменяли.
Так, как бы...
Here are the books. What do you have there? An English dictionary. Wait, we've changed the angle.
Которыми не постоянно пользуемся, мы, конечно, держим где-нибудь в коробках, чтобы оно... Тут просто пыли, может копоть быть запросто, это все потом не очистишь.
So it can get dusty. The books I don't use very often. We keep them in a box, of course. It can get very dusty or sooty very quickly. You can't clean it later. So they are all here. And where's your phone? The phone?
Телефон. Даже вот, да, вот садись как бы с телефоном, что да.
That's my phone. Are you familiar with PCs too? Of course, of course. I can surf the net if necessary.
Мне был 21 год, когда меня оставили одного, и вот у меня родители уехали в Приморье автостопом.
I was 21 when my parents left me and hitchhiked to Primorje. They wanted to move there, but later decided to come back. All those 4 months I lived alone, took care of the garden. Isn't it boring? It's not boring. It's very hard and you get tired very quickly. And it can get annoying. There's a lot of work. It's not just planting a couple of flowers. It's a garden. You need to make sure you stock 10 sacks of potatoes for the winter. Actually, I'm working the same way now, but in another industry. So next, civilization. Well, I realized that I really want a chainsaw as I got tired of cutting wood with a handsaw. I started selling mushrooms, wild berries in the Bela Kuricha market. Eventually, I bought a chainsaw. But it was about 2 years before the reporters learned about me. How did it happen? So it happened when I appealed to the prosecutor's office to get a passport. I needed to obtain a certificate of birth first to get any documents. And they told the journalist that there's such a guy here, and that's it.
Ojan Naumkin доказывает представителям Фемиды, что родился 14 февраля.
Ojan Naumkin is trying to prove the authorities that he was born February 14, 1993. The birth was quite easy. His parents are the witnesses. They moved to Taiga in the end of the 80s and had their child not at a hospital but in a dugout in the woods. The authorities learned about the man with no documents only 20 years later. You can see it now and sign in your passport. It's a unique case in the history of the Migration Service. It's the first time somebody gets a passport only a month after he got a certificate of birth.
Чему ты по-настоящему удивился?
Ну, смотря что понимать по-настоящему.
Was there anything that really surprised you? It depends on what you mean by really. When I moved to Moscow, I wasn't surprised by the Red Square when I visited it for the first time. I was surprised by the long escalators in the subway, which could take several minutes to finish. I was amazed by all that magnitude. The escalator is an example. When you live here and see it every day, it won't surprise you. But for the first time, the scale of this huge machine can really amaze you. How did you eventually decide to move out of the forest? I got tired of selling mushrooms and stuff. It was very small money. You could earn around 10,000 a month. Then the mushroom season would end and you would get bored. In Belokuricha, I realized that I could work as a bartender or a waiter without a diploma. So I went for the bartender's training for some reason. You could become a bartender without the training. You can learn it all on the spot, yes. But back then I thought it was important. I had a passport already, so with the help of the employment center, I got a bartender diploma for free. I still have that diploma somewhere. It says 4-category bartender.
Так, выучился на бармена и...
И устроился работать в ресторан Мулина.
So you became a bartender. What's next? I started working in a Molino restaurant in Belokuricha. I was also painting a little. Most of my paintings appeared back then. In 9 months, I moved to Moscow. Why? For what reason? Because I realized that it's impossible to earn a living in Novosibirsk.
Погоди, так это вот твой двигатель, знаешь, как вот
Да.
двигатель твоего личного прогресса – это охота за деньгами?
Это не охота за деньгами, но я хочу более-менее...
Wait a minute, is that your engine? It turns out that money hunting is your main goal. It's not money hunting, but I just want to live more or less comfortably. I have lived in a huge deprivation for a long. I don't think they were critical, but one should have a chance to buy whatever he wants. I understood that if I wanted to survive, I needed to go there where there's a chance to earn as much as you work. That's how I moved to Moscow. I realized that there's more money in Moscow by all means. I'm a barista and a waiter. Barista and a waiter. Barista is the person that makes coffee? Yes. It's a different and interesting profession. It is different, but I work in a small cafe, I make coffee and I serve it to the table. How much do you earn now? My wage? It's about 70 per month. 1,000, I mean. Is it enough to rent an apartment? I rent an apartment, I save a little, pay my loans. It's quite enough. About the loans. Look, loans are a big mistake for any person who takes them. You came out of the woods. Yes, I came out of the woods. I came and I thought that I could get some loans, but in Moscow, it's enough to have 60,000 to live pretty well, even in a rented apartment.
Вполне.
Смотри, сейчас тебе 28 лет. Логичный вопрос возникает, когда в твоей жизни появилась девушка.
You're 28 now. A logical question. When did a girl appear in your life? 2 years ago. I met Lera, we were working together, had a lot of conversations. We realized that we were interested in each other. And that's it. Did you know how to talk to girls, what to tell them, how to draw their attention? It wasn't my main target, never. I realized that. I always delayed the question of my family for some very long time in the future. I realized what I was. I had to stand firm on my feet first. But here's what happened. We met and understood each other. We feel great together, and that's it.
А вы прям 2 года вместе живете?
Прям вот да.
У вас есть какие-то далеко идущие планы?
So you live together for 2 years? Yes, we do. Do you have any plans for the future? Not really big plans. Of course, we will have children someday, a family maybe, but it's hard to talk about it now.
Мы, наверное, туда переместимся, там можно сесть нормально, стульчики поставить, место побольше, или здесь, или там.
Мы можем здесь попить.
We can go there, there's a lot of space. We can put the chairs, or here, or there. We can drink coffee here. This is not the real interview, it's backstage. We're not really talking, we just drink coffee. Yeah, maybe it's for the video. Yeah, we usually take something from here.
Значит,
Well, at some point, all the grown-up people realize that our parents live inside us and what our family strategies are. Is there a chance that at one moment you'll have the desire to move away from people?
Очень сильно сомневаюсь. Мне лет 6, нет, лет 5 назад одна знакомая говорила, что...
I really doubt it. Some 5 years ago, a friend of mine said that she was confident that in a couple of years I would move back to eating meat. I would stop being a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for 6 years now, and I don't want to eat dead animals. And I wouldn't want to go back to the mountains as well, because I've already seen that, and I wouldn't want to go through it all again. So you paint. I do paint. Rarely, not a lot, but I try to keep up with that. So if anyone ever wants to buy your paintings, is that possible? If I have a ready painting, I'd be happy. You paint mountains. Usually landscape, yes. This is Altai Mountains, but it's not finished yet. Can you do a portrait too? Actually, I can. If someone gives me enough time, then yes. My biggest dream was to visit Florida.
Почему Флорида?
Ну, вот когда-то я о ней читал что-то в какой-то газете.
Why Florida? I read about it in a paper. I think it was Argumenti and Fakti or something like that. And since then, I've been wanting to go there. The more I read about that place, the more I want to go there, because it's beautiful there. It's 300 kilometers away from Cuba. Always good weather, a lot of fruits. In short, it's great to live there, I guess. Did you see the sea? Yes, in 2016 I went to Sochi. Did you eat a pineapple? Of course. Is there anything you haven't eaten yet? Yes, but most of it I'm not going to try, as I'm a vegetarian now. Okay, put aside the meat. I won't eat langoustines, for example. What I didn't try, I think we all haven't tried a lot of things. For example, I haven't tried a macadamia nut. I don't even know what it is. I think you're not alone in that.
Что для тебя самое важное в жизни сейчас?
Сейчас,
What is the most important thing for you now? Currently, I'm trying to save some money, which would allow me not to work every day and do some creative work. I want to do something I like. Painting, for example. At least like a hobby. I don't mean painting for the world, but just for me. Do something for my own sake.
Ты наивный?
Да, очень. И даже сейчас. Скорее, да.
Тебя легко обмануть?
Are you naive? Yes, a lot. Trusting people? I guess so. Is it easy to cheat you? It's getting harder, but it still is. Do you expect a catch from people, or you trust them? Before meeting a person, I expect a catch from him. But when he starts talking, I trust him fully. I trust fully. And that's how it all starts. That's how problems begin. Do you believe in God? No. Why? Because I haven't seen him. What else should I ask you? What are your relations with your parents? Quite loyal, reasonable. Yes, they're good. Did they try to keep you? They did, but they never tried to force me. They tried to persuade me to stay in the forest, build a house, etc., because they still think that living in the forest is more acceptable than living in the city.
А как часто ты туда приезжаешь к ним?
Раз в год или в 2 года.
Поедешь или ты уже ездил?
How often do you visit them? Once or twice a year. Are you going this year? I've already been there. Last year, me and Lera went there together. I hadn't been there for 2 years before that. You quite openly call yourself an Altai Mowgli. Yes, because all of Russia knows me with that nickname. I even saw that name in the English language sources. So yes, as people know me that way, it's easier to get in touch with them.
Я иногда устаю от вопросов на работе или просто при встрече с людьми.
I sometimes get tired of the same questions people ask at work or when they meet me. Are you really the guy on TV? Tell us how you live there.
Меня устраивает. Не каждому человеку дана возможность.
I'm okay with it. Not every person has a chance to live with such a nickname and get recognized by it. That'll be it. Thank you. Can we open the window and talk to Lara in a minute? Is it necessary? Maybe we shouldn't. As you're alive and here, I want to ask you a couple of questions.
Лера, вы с Оджаном вместе работали, и там вы познакомились. А почему ты вообще обратил на него внимание?
Lara, did you meet Ojan at work? Yes. Why did you pay attention to him at all? He's very bright, fun, emotional. We have a lot of common interests. We love painting, we both want to learn to play an instrument. He wants a violin and I want a piano. Yeah, we both like the English language, slowly but we're trying to learn it together. We paint, he's using oil and I use watercolor. So we have a lot of common interests. And that's how we came together. So yeah.
Слушай, ну вот вы 2 года уже вместе, и вот ты со стороны, как человек, мало того, что...
Look, you've been together for 2 years already. You were not only born in a city, you were born in Moscow. And now you see him every day. Is he different from an average person by how his childhood and youth have been? Is there anything different in him because of that reason?
У него нету зависимости от компьютерных игр. То есть у большинства нашего поколения такая зависимость есть.
He's not a PC games addict. Most of my generation have this addiction. We play video games, we have a lot of more modern interests. He doesn't. He's more mature, adult in some sense. His interests are more adult, if I can say so. He's more conscious. He won't say, let's go hang out at a club or something. No. He's more concentrated. It's attractive. I gave him a PC, I gave him a scooter. He wanted it very much. Who cooks? Out of you two. Both of us. Are your relations with Ojan serious? Yes, I guess so. That's it. That's why I didn't want to. Not painful. Take it out.